All right, guys, here we are with episode 2 of the Quiggin Out MMA podcast. As you can see, my co-host for the day, Uncle Creepy himself, Ian McCall. How are you handling all this Corona stuff, man?
I'm having a great time. I'm really enjoying this whole thing. I mean, got a big backyard and a pool and a vineyard back there, and some nice. There's a lot of us in this house. My girlfriend, my daughter, myself, three of her 4 kids are here. So it's we're and they're all grown up too. I'm the smallest person in the house.
I mean, London's probably gonna outgrow you too. So
okay, well, but that's by default. She is the smallest person in the house. She's only 8.
I can't believe she's 8 already.
Yeah, my girlfriend is 5'11" with no shoes on. Her daughter's 5'10". Her 21-year-old or 15-year-old is 5'10". The 21-year-old is 6'5", and the 24-year-old is 6'3".
Jeez.
So I am by far the smallest person in the house. But my little shoes at the bottom of the stairs. It's so cute.
What did the poster say? 5'6"?
Yeah, right. The internet says I'm 5'5". I'm not 5'5".
Well, listen, Lesnar goes from being 6'1" to 6'6", depending on who he's fighting. When he was in the UFC. So.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How tall is he?
I think he's 6'4", but when he fought Overeem, they had him billed as 6'5", 6'6", just so it looked like they were closer than they were, and they just positioned the pictures just right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I work from home already. I literally come out here to, I sit at my fire pit and I smoke joints, and this is where I work from every day.
I mean, it looks like a terrible place to work.
But I work from home. My daughter's homeschooled, so this transition is super easy. We just don't leave as much, really, we don't really leave at all.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the kids. If anyone's going to leave, it's going to be me, usually to go get supplies. But, we're taking it serious. I have some really good friends who are super conspiracy theorists. I mean, they're smart, educated, successful people who, God, 2 really good friends of mine think the Earth is flat. Like, seriously. And I
no way.
Yeah, well, I was giving advice at our office the other day, and I said this woman asked me a question because I educate in health and wellness around the planet, and so I kind of know what I'm talking about. And I'm just telling her things about how to build her immune system and whatnot. And we're talking about Corona, and they started laughing about Corona, how it's not real, and went right into like conspiracy theory shit. And I was like, whoa, listen, hey, you guys, I love you like brothers. Like, they're 2 really good friends and business partners of mine. I go, but I can't do this right now. I can't argue with you about this. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, you guys think the Earth is flat. You guys are, it's so frustrating. Like, you guys are so on point about so many things, and then that comes up, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. So I can't argue with you about this. Coronavirus is real, whether that's the name of it or not. It is killing people, just like the real flu or fucking a lot of other stuff. But this specific thing just found a hole in our immune system, and it's taking advantage.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing. And we haven't built up our immune systems properly at all. Everyone hears about the microbiome, the bacteria in our body, the gut biome, how that's related to the brain. We're really realizing how important that is. And people try and build that, and they do it somewhat successfully, it seems. I mean, if you take the measures I do, prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, eating the right foods, working out, sauna, and just being as healthy as possible, then you can build your gut biome back after you take antibiotics and stuff like that. If you even take that, I won't take that stuff, but I have before. There's also something called the mycobiome, MYCO, the mycological biome, the fungal body that's inside of us. And when you take those antibiotics, you're killing off a lot of that fungus as well. So you have to replenish it, or you have to just build it, because you'll lose it as you if you don't use it, you lose it. You know, you get older, it goes away. Like most things, our bodies deteriorate. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now, I'm at the professor. That was what I call my girlfriend. She's a professor at UCLA and been a scientist for 25 years. You know, she I remember when we first met, she talked about me starting to deteriorate now because of my age. She's like, well, we were talking about stuff, and she's like, well, yeah, this is the point. And she made it sound much more eloquent than I am. But just how I am, I'm at 35. Like, it's only downhill from here. And I was like, fuck. This is going to be hard. But anyway, so back to the fungal biome. You have, inside of different kinds of mushrooms, you have so many amazing immunity properties. Okay, and the very first thing I should say, and everyone should just listen and take them because of this, antiviral properties. They have actual antiviral properties. They help build your immune system. They have things called polysaccharides, and beta glucans, and they help protect your cells. And those little arms on the coronavirus, they help those not bond to your other cells, and they build your immune system. They help to strengthen the walls of it. A bunch of other stuff that I'm sure I've heard and don't remember. But I surround myself with very smart individuals. It's who I hang out with, who I live with, it's who I wake up next to every day. It's a super genius, so it's nice. But you have to educate yourself, and I've done that through not just this relationship, but through my life. That's what I do. I get obsessive over stuff. But also in mushrooms, you have antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, some antiseptic qualities. I think you have trace minerals and trace elements. You have a good protein source, other vitamins, stuff like that. I mean, these are a lot of vitamin D. I mean, these are really, really, really good supplements that we should take. And I don't take other supplements. Like, I don't take a multivitamin. I don't take really anything else besides mushroom supplements. I work with a company called Life Cycle. It's spelled like the Danish way. It's CYKEL. Life Cycle, and they have the highest standard of mycology or mushroom supplements I've seen on the market.
Okay.
I mean, they're obsessive like I am. Just say they make
good place to be then.
Yeah, and they're getting, from what their tests have shown, they are getting the same sort of results just from their products because of the way they're extracted and the entourage effect of all the chemicals in them. They're getting the same sort of results as actual microdosing without the psilocybin, without the magic chemical.
Okay.
And that's pretty crazy. And I take them every day. My daughter takes them. The whole family, everyone takes them. That's around me. And I see it. These are really, really incredible things. Sure, I microdose a lot. My girlfriend microdoses a lot, but we're different.
Yeah. You have experience.
Yeah, well, you don't feel it. I mean, but it's just that helps with something called epigenetic neurogenesis. Epigenetic neurogenesis. It's a big word. I've been learning lots of big words since my retirement, and
well, you haven't been getting hit in the head anymore, so
Yeah, I can remember said big words. So the neurogenesis is the actual healing of your brain. It's the healing of the receptor sites, neural pathways. New neural pathways are being built. I mean, that you can actually fix CTE and TBI.
And that's obviously something very close and personal to you, given what you used to do.
Tons of it. I mean, you've known me for long enough where you've seen how bad it got for a while. Like, I was a fucking mess,
Yeah, it's been almost a decade.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I just I was not doing good when I retired, and I know I needed it to heal myself because I just looked at my daughter. She's everything to me, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to get off. I was addicted to painkillers for 20 years. The one time I became sober, I became the best on the planet. That was a shocker. But after fighting, I was just like, I have to get better, and I went through all the process. All the education stuff I had to do on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I started microdosing a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago, I think. And I saw an astonishing change in myself. Other people see it. They see just in how I am as a person. I mean, you have, so through that healing of the brain, the amyloid plaque that builds up on our brains when we get CTE, that's where it comes from, is that the scar tissue, blocking our receptors, and you see people being crazy, impulsive. They're addicted to everything. They need a dopamine response out of their brain. That's what they're looking for. So whether it was, like me, it was chasing partying and women and drugs and more women, and craziness. Like, I got off on craziness.
Mm-hmm.
It was jumping out of planes and fucking doing just wild ass shit. And it was life's been really crazy. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to fix myself, and I pulled it off. So I did the microdosing. I also take a lot of peptides. I've been biohacking for since I retired, because I knew I could fix myself that way. Or I figured I could do a lot better. Listening to people like Dr. Mark Gordon, talking to him about hormone therapy for him fixing like guys with CTE, and for vets, and athletes with hormone supplementation.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have some very smart individuals in my life who are biochemists, and they own a peptide lab called Pixis here in Irvine. I think it's in Placentia now, actually. And they gave me a bunch of peptides to help me get off of opiates with my microdosing. And I was like, hey, what else do you guys got? This shit's incredible. And then, we've got to stuff. And I was retired, and I don't care. And I'd already started taking supplementing in my testosterone. Just because that will make you feel way better. Because when you have brain damage, or CTE, the hormone production in your brain, specifically testosterone, is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So I already knew that. So I started taking that, and then I got with these guys, and they're like, "Oh, we make testosterone that's this way, and this works better." And I did my reading on it. So I mean, they make endotestosterone, they make like growth hormone and IGF-1. I'm like, fuck, I'm retired. Let me try this stuff. I mean, I put on 30 pounds of muscle.
Jeez.
Since I retired, jacked, like 8% body fat, and like, yeah, I take stuff, but I can't.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I'm healing my body. I took a bunch of BPC 157 or a BPC blend, which is body protection compound. The brain peptide B and F, brain derived neurotrophic factor, with NAD plus, which is nicotinicide, something or other. But and they, like I said, they have. I mean, they have stuff for all kinds of stuff, like crazy shit you can take, and it's ipamorelin and all these other certain peptides you have to be into. But I have barely any arthritis. Now, also,
that's amazing given your track record and everything you've been through in your life. I mean, you've been fighting forever.
Yeah, and man, I fixed my brain first, but I also fixed my body shortly after. That was a big part of me, lifting weights for vanity. I'm not gonna lie, like I started lifting weights for the first time in my life just to look good. I ended up looking like a personal trainer. But whatever, chicks dig it, my girlfriend loves it, so sure, of course. So, fuck it. I mean, I have to lift weights and you'll touch me more? Hell yeah. Great.
Well, and everything that you're talking about as far as the repair of the brain, the actual, did you actually get a CTE diagnosis, or is it just had all the symptoms of it?
I'm just not stupid. I don't listen to doctors. Most of them are just, they don't know what they're doing. And it's crazy because these people go into something and they just read these books and they just have no life experience, and they're so set in their ways most of the time where I'm like, you guys need to chill out. Like my daughter had, juvenile rheumatoid arthritis at 2.5, and I bought a fucking cryo machine because of it.
Yeah, I remember when you bought it.
And they were like, what? You did what? And I was like, you've never heard of this? Like, no. I'm like, you're a rheumatologist, and you've never heard of cryotherapy. I was like, shame on you. And they treated me like it was a bunch of young doctors at an amazing hospital. And I don't want to poo-poo them because they helped me. But whatever. In the end, I took my daughter out of the hospital and took her off the medicine they were trying to give her. They gave her methotrexate. It's a chemotherapy drug.
Holy crap.
Wow, no. Painkillers and anti-inflammatory stuff.
At 2.
And yeah, 2.5 years old. So I reverted to my knowledge in cannabis and the fact that I've sold weed my whole life. I knew that, cannabis oil, Rick Simpson oil specifically, is extremely strong, but it fixes this sort of stuff. And now, actually, you know what, man? Charlotte Figge, the young lady that was on the documentary with Dr. Sanjay Gupta on CNN, she just passed away. So I want to say, just a little moment for her, because this little girl, and I was just in Colorado doing a ceremony with Rashad, actually, and the people at Unlimited Sciences, is the company that I work with in all this psychedelic stuff. And we were with another one of the owners of Charlotte's Web. So Charlotte is the face of Charlotte's Web.
Mm-hmm.
She was the little girl on that episode where I had already knew what I was doing was right, but when I saw that, and like my ex-girlfriend, for instance, she said, "Why are we not doing this for London?" And I was like, "I already am." And to get your little kid, your 2, your 3-year-old, your 4-year-old, high and stoned out of her fucking mind is kind of funny, but kind of not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's harmless. You see a little kid at dinner just going, just giggling over nothing, eating tons of food, and her diet was crazy perfect back then. She was just absorbing so much good stuff. But anyways, that was my rant on doctors, because I was able to fix my daughter without them, without modern medicine. It was diet, exercise, and things like cannabis oil and other vitamins and supplements and stuff. And the path that I'm on it happened a long time ago. But then happened with myself. I said, fuck, I fixed my kid. I know I can fix myself. And I started doing the microdose. I started doing the research, and just became obsessive. Now, there was a point where I was out, being me, party boy in LA and, all over California, and just indiscriminately giving out, psychedelics, just partying, just having fun. Like, I don't like to drink. I don't do drugs, like those sort of drugs anymore.
Which I'm gonna be completely honest. That's amazing. Because I'll never forget the Christmas phone call I got from you. And I think you were at Seth MacFarlane's house.
Oh, yeah. We were at Seth MacFarlane's house. That was wild. Those are crazy times. That's literally the best party in Hollywood every year. And every fucking celebrity knows it. That's like the party everyone tries to get into. And just going, Jesus, this place is wild. And they were there with all these, like the biggest celebrities around you at all time. Every chick is like, all the hottest girls on Instagram, they're all there. And like, you're just like, what the fuck? Where are you? Where am I? But so yeah, back to me not partying. I do psychedelics. That's my medicine. I smoke a lot of pot. That's one thing I need to stop as much. But
Who am I talking to right now? Like, who is this guy?
I've been smoking since I was 8 years old, and which is way too young. I'm not proud of that. And my daughter's 8. I look at her and I'm like, what the fuck? I was so devious at that age. Man, I don't even want to look into her little psyche.
Mm-mm. No.
She's like, don't you ever go through my journals when I grow up. And I was like, I'm never gonna read your shit.
No.
Like I was. I'm like, I don't want to read anything you're doing. I'll just, I'm just here to give you money and love you and take care and make sure you have a roof over your head and give you good advice.
Mm.
But you gotta learn this shit on your own, kid. But that's what you have to do with kids, especially when they give them, a life like we can give our children out here. But I'll get more into that later about the ranch I'm trying to buy.
Oh
yeah, I'm going off grid. Fuck this. So psychedelics. Now,
intro to psychedelics for those of us who.
I specifically work in psilocybin. That's my expertise. I get to talk in front of doctors and scientists and panels of people, and this is how I make my money about this. So I know what I'm talking about. Now, I met a woman that we started dating like 7 months ago. She has been a professor at UCLA for almost 2 decades. been a scientist for 25 years. She's special. She's a really special creature. And, I've never, how many women I've just had around me constantly like an idiot. And nothing against them. They were great.
I think every woman
really pretty.
every woman you were with was right for you at the time and needed to get you through a certain period of your life. So
yeah. So I love them all, but this one's special, and I met her at a party where I was facilitating people on taking psychedelics, and she just was like, "Hey, what you're doing is wrong, right?" Yeah, after a long conversation of us, just like right away, like looking at each other, going, "Oh my God, I want to talk to you," because she's also insanely hot, which is great. Because so that's a plus because I'm such a visual creature. I'm at the party and I'm like, I know there needs to be more ceremony behind this. There needs to be integration, and she's a psychedelic integration coach, and of course, she studies with all the top people in the world, and we have not really left each other's sides since, outside of me going on vacation, or not vacation. Well, me. When I leave for vacation, I work. So I went to Bali. I did a retreat. I taught over at Bali MMA. Just creating content. Everything I do has work involved. Well, I went to Colorado as well, but besides these little trips, I'm with this woman.
It's not the same as vacation. It's not getting away from work. You're using that as an opportunity to bring your work with you in a positive light.
Yeah, because that's what I'm always working. That's just what I do. I'm a content creator. I hate to say it, but I'm an influencer now.
You're an influencer in the wild. Look at you. Look at your backyard.
It's so weird. But I was Raina is her name, Raina Marin. She I hate this. The only thing you hear nowadays is sirens.
I live behind an ER, like a standalone ER. So.
Okay, so
I thought it was on my end, so I was like, all right.
Probably both. So, she took me to my first Decrim meeting with Decrim CA, and I met the people. I met Ryan specifically, the guy that started it. And I remember when we left that meeting, we were like, oh man, what are we doing in psychedelics? Like this is a calling that we both had for so long. Her old company, she was one of those, those hot middle-aged women that sell their skincare on TV. She was one of those, but she was the person that formulated that product in her own lab. So
that's pretty amazing.
Kind of the whole package sort of woman. But we were thinking, like, what are we going to do in this business? Because this is boom. This is going to be a booming business, and psychedelics are going to be huge. We're going to have a huge cycle of business, and mycology is going to have a life-saving, world-saving type of trajectory, multi-trillion-dollar business. Watch, but that happened. I started going out and posting on Instagram that I was working with them, and I'm a volunteer now, and then. I'm getting a position with them, and I'm doing this. And Unlimited Sciences reached out. Del Jolly, who's an MMA fan and just a rad guy, he started Unlimited Sciences with the people from Charlotte Square. He said, "Hey, let's talk. Let's be an advocate for us. We have a TBI study, a CTE study we're trying to do with fighters." And I was like, "I'm in.
Yeah.
You can have my brain. Please. Yes,
you can have it. Just
like I love. I help people now. I viewed myself as a predator my whole life, climbing into a cage in my underwear, fucking people up for blood money for everyone's viewing pleasure. Now, I'm not that anymore, no longer. I'm a protector, and I see these people, these young fighters that are hurting themselves through drug addiction and all this other stuff, craziness, because of things like CTE. I understand why that specifically lends. It ruins so many things in their lives. It fucks up everything, and I can't see my fellow fighters go through this anymore. I can't hear more stories of them abusing their loved ones, and people around them in every way, shape, and form.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you don't hear much about it sexually, but I'm sure it's out there. You know, it's more violence and drug addiction and shit like that. But I can't let this happen. I have a mission in life, and that's to help fix as many fighters as possible. You know, you know how I feel about John Jones. When I heard that his final thing he did, I mean,
why?
I had to reach out, and I mean, I think his Instagram's gone for now at least. But I reached out to some people, and I put it on Instagram that I would love to help him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that starts to scare me. That starts to make me think about, you know, my friends who have killed themselves. Jeremy Williams, my coach, Justin Levins. You know, these are people who took their lives because of this sort of shit, and it scares me. I don't want anyone to die. Okay, that's like I have to help these people. So, you know, and I've had some legitimate, like, very large name celebrities and athletes reach out and go, "Hey, you can help John. Are you gonna help John? Like, are you paying attention to what I post? Holy shit, it's cool."
I like that you still have the fanboy mentality. Like, you're still there.
Yeah, it's cute. I like it. It's fun because I know that in my position with the people that I know and hang out with, I can help do something called the pollination effect. You know, and I can get these fighters talking about psychedelics. I can get. I mean, I was just with like 5 supermodels in Vegas who all took too much acid, and I had to take them up to my suite with my girlfriend, and we had to take them up there and help them through these trips because I didn't get the acid, you know, but someone did.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy who owns the place, he looked at me and was like, "What the fuck, man?" And I was like, "Whoa. I didn't."
Yeah, I didn't do this. I didn't do it.
They gave it to me for one. And so yeah, I take the girls upstairs, and we just walked them through. And think about this: Reina was the shortest one. She's 5'11" with no shoes on. So you have girls that are like 6'1" to 6'5", and they're all actual, like, they're supermodel runway women, and they're all, you know, they're these, like, you look at them and you're like, wow, you're real. What the fuck? Like, that's crazy. How are you that pretty? And just to help them go through their issues, because people don't give them any credit. They think, oh, they're stupid, and they're lucky, blah, blah. Like, you know how much shit those women get, and how much shit they have to deal with, how much they're preyed upon and growing up their whole lives just because they look that way and how they feel.
Well, if you really think about it, fighters is the same thing. People think most of you guys are barbarians. You're stupid.
Everyone has issues and trauma. Everyone's a broken child, and you can't look at anyone else's trauma as any worse or better than yours. Okay, it's the same. Our traumas affect me, or they affect us. How they affect us? They affect us in the same way. It's just those extra, you know, outside stimuli,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever they are. It all comes down to abandonment, sex, and violence. Those are the 3 things, and they're usually hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, you at least get 2 out of the 3, or some crazy shit. And I think our parents stopped the cycle of that a lot. They're still, I mean, they at least started to stop.
Mm-hmm.
My parents did. No one touched me as a kid, my brother or anything. And I grew up in Catholic school. You know, no one ever fucked with us, like, at all, really. I mean, it's great. I asked my brother the other day, I'm like, why are we so fucked up? Did anyone touch you? He said, no one touched me. He goes, no, man, I have nothing. No. Like is my body, is my default mode network, like, holding back some memories that I need to know, that I need to process? Because I go deep with psychedelics. I'm still deep in my healing. And he's like, no, man. He's like, it was fucking when mom left, you know? He's like, my mom left when I was like 12. I was like, that made me into such a psychopath? That's it? But,
well, and if you want to look at it from a psychological standpoint, I mean, that explains a lot of your behavior.
But I know, but that's different. Exactly. Now having my girlfriend explain everything to me in detail from a psychological standpoint, you know, archetypal this, and then also getting into, oh, well, you're a Taurus, and you're this, and you're Enneagram 3, and how she just can write a whole book about me. Like, oh, this is what you're going to do today. I'm like, fuck.
Well, I know the last time we talked, you said she had written out a schedule, and there was basically structure in your life.
Exactly. For the first time in my life, and you'll know my new podcast is all about this. It's called The Intellectual Giants. It is how I've changed my life and myself into this person. how am I now coaching people for mental stuff? It's not just sorry, a little bit cold. How am I not coaching athletes, motivational speakers, musicians, actor types? Like, there's a lot of people that I'm working with right now that I'm onto something. So efficiency, microdosing psilocybin helps you with your efficiency a lot. Like, it's huge for mental efficiency, the body, the efficiency of movement. Because people think that it's more or less just a flow state thing with psilocybin. It's your body in that flow state. Your body is the performance benefits are crazy. People think it's only mental, but I'll get into performance after. So, for me, helping myself, having people like her help me, it's getting through these daily tasks and making them cyclical, making them a cycle daily, just going through stuff. So I wake up in the morning. She won't let me out of the room, or she's already gone. She's like wakes up a couple hours before me to do whatever she does. In the morning, I have no idea. Read, and listen to podcasts, and do breath work and stuff, and meditation and yoga. But I do my breath work, my meditation. Okay, I come downstairs, I have my coffee, I come out here, I smoke a joint with the cat, and I go over my day. There's the whole calendar downstairs, there's Post-it notes of these tasks that I have to do, and then these people I have to talk to, emails, text messages, sex, working out, like this cute little things in there, that we're both deep in our sex addiction, and we're each other's accountability partners. And when her story will be told in the TED Talk and all this stuff, she, has I guess, a crazy sex addiction. So that's just stimuli that we have. So luckily we have each other. We are both have been anorexic from group sex for like 7 months since we met. So perfect.
Anorexic.
Yeah, we went completely anorexic from it, and it's been we're just falling in love. But okay.
You're like a giddy little schoolboy, man. Like,
I know.
I'm just gonna call you out on it.
That's fine. It's totally fine. I don't mind it. It's cool. Okay, so and it's having that efficiency in my day. Like I do 1-2 podcasts a day. I just talk on the phone all day. I'm on Zoom, or I'm on Skype, or I'm on some sort of call. I have a business to talk to you about. So that's already out. It's on Instagram or it's on Twitter. The Scoring Center. We're trying to build a business platform for a new scoring platform, and new judges, which will all be people that we recommend, that basically I suss out, or our group of senators. We're talking to some. I mean, dude, you know the people that I deal with. We're talking to some of the greatest people in mixed martial arts, especially the people in business. We just got on 2 specific people that I'm friends with that I'm really happy and proud to be with. And we're looking at having a bunch of senators around the world watch these fights. They get paid to watch the fights, and then they get handsomely paid to watch these fights and judge them. So it's not like, oh, here's $50. It's like, no, here's a good amount of money to watch the fights. The fight is paid for itself, and you have your app. They go on there, and the thing is, it's a public profile, and you once you put a score in, those scores are down there. People can see your scores forever. So there's
an accountability to it.
Exactly. And then also, Steve is the guy that started it. He hit me up. Our friendship has just blossomed because we're very like-minded people and doing a lot of stuff in tech, website stuff. And I have my training protocols and platform coming out probably this week. But he's my tech consultant now for all my stuff that I'm doing. And I said, not only do we need this sort of stuff, but we also need a new scoring system, because that's flawed. It just doesn't work. So I tell me what you think, because this is just an idea.
No, I'm all for it, man. Because
so
when
you have a bunch of different parts. You have striking, you have grappling, you have whatever, however 5, 6, however many things we have. Points of
aggression, striking, octagon control,
all that stuff. So
takedowns if you're a wrestler.
Yeah, you give each one 10 points, and from there it starts 5 and 5. Okay. Now you can go to 6, you can go to 4. you take as many of those points from each other away as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that can all be measured by maybe strikes landed, and I don't know that goes into like a score of a algorithm or whatever. I don't know.
Well, and you have to do that, and you have to think, you know, when they did the UFC Brazil without all the fans,
Yeah.
every score was accurate. Every single judge was accurate with which, you know, what scores they were putting out, and it's amazing how much a crowd can influence. You know, if you get hit with a left, it doesn't hurt you, but the crowd goes, ooh. Or you have a coach, you know, Greg Jackson's infamous for it, and he did it during one of Cerrone's fights, and you could hear him say, "Go get some, Donald Cerrone," and Mike Goldberg repeated it. And you have to think, if the judges can hear that, you know, if fighters can hear that, it could have an influence. And you know, I've talked about how fighters should be judges, and I know that comes with a lot of stigma and feedback, because there could be a bias, you know, they could be from a school, but it's already happened. And I think the James Krause fight that was most recent, where he took the fight on like 2 days' notice, one of the judges was a training partner of his opponent. Like, stuff like that should never happen. There should be full disclosure with that, so that, you know, there isn't any issues. And
well, and the thing is having the accountability of it,
mm-hmm.
Which is going to be huge because, you know, we're going to make sure that everyone that's a senator will
Almost lost it there.
You know, and be like, listen, if you make a bad call, maybe we can have you voted off as a senator. And we're talking, people are going to be getting paid a decent amount a year, like tens of thousands of dollars to judge these fights and work as a senator. So this isn't just a free thing.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just like, hey, help us out with this. Like, no, we're going to get you paid. And it's not crazy amount, but, you know, it's enough to pay rent for a year, I'm sure, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of broken parts of MMA,
mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm just trying to fix them. You know, I don't see this whole union thing happening, and
I mean, they've been talking about that for how long?
It grossed me out too. I don't know. I'll get to that later. But I'm trying to heal the fighters, and I'm trying to fix the scoring system at least, because those are two things that I've done myself, or two things I would like fixed, because I fixed myself with psilocybin, and I got screwed over a long time ago, and still a little sour about it maybe. No, it's just, you know, I need to help others so that doesn't happen anymore, because it changes the course of your life. And, you know, whatever. My life's awesome, but what if it didn't? What if I just kept fucking up and died again of drugs? You know, that would be.
I was gonna say again, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get back to psilocybin. So you have the healing properties of it. You have all of the immune boosting stuff. You know, you have those health benefits. The myco diet, I tell people. Like, what's the myco diet? Like, is it only mushrooms? I go, no. Whatever you're eating, make sure it's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's locally sourced, you know, organic, and add in a bunch of mushrooms. If you decide, like, I tell people to picture a table with all the fruits and vegetables and meat on it. All the stuff people usually take, because people don't usually have mushrooms on there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of really good stuff on this planet to eat. If you decide to take one of them off and not eat that, good for you. Don't shit on everyone else about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have something good to say, hey, check it out. Veganism is this, or meat is this, or, you know, just, and I'll go, oh, cool, thanks. Maybe I'll try that, you know, next month. But people don't do that. People just like shitting on each other. So just whatever you're eating, add in a lot of mushrooms. I mean, add in a whole variety. Go to a grocery store and you can find a bunch of variety.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have different types of fungus in your body. Okay. Now, from there, you know, you have, and like I was saying, we have that study with Unlimited Sciences. We've sat with Jeff Nowitzki more than once in person. We've had talks with the UFC more than once about all this. And again, it's not rolling out yet. You know, the study's not going on. We're waiting.
You're working it out. I mean, you got to work out the kinks.
Yes. But, you know, the UFC, they love what we're doing. They can't publicly fund us, but they said we can talk about it, what we've done, with the proposals we've sent over. They can't publicly fund us because it's illegal. It's a Schedule I substance. It's a U.S. company. But there's some really big shit going on that we're going to roll out here pretty soon. We're going to roll out very soon, but obviously with the coronavirus, it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that just shows you how deep this is getting. This is serious. This is a real thing. Where you have organizations like the NHL blackballing my friend Daniel Garcia, a two-time NHL Stanley Cup winner. He's me in hockey. We're the two most highest educated
Athletes,
athletes, I guess, in this on the planet. I know that for sure. And we're also the most vocal, and he's like, we're not going to stop, so we're going to expose the NHL and then everybody else that's fighting this, where you have the UFC going, open arms, go, come here. I love what you're doing.
Well, and you have to think about the fact that what you're doing could extend the careers and the longevity of a fighter. It could extend their lifespan after fighting, because again, I've probably said this on hundreds of phone calls, interviews. You and I have talked about it. There has to be a contingency plan with fighting. With everything else, you quit the NFL. I mean, I think Tony Romo's getting paid almost more to do commentary than he was to play. There's a contingency plan. If you can speak and you have an understanding of the game, you should be able to, find a job, no problem. But with fighters, so many of them go back to regular jobs, and there's not a lot of, room for them to go somewhere, and they really have to have a plan. So you can't really have.
I'm trying to help.
And like I said, we've known each other. We've been talking since 2010, 2011. And I literally have watched you grow up, which is weird to say because you said you're 35.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've watched you, go from, the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, and really everywhere in between. And this is a different side of you where, I'm just gonna come out and say you were kind of selfish before. You were.
Yeah, I was.
But now you have like this humanitarian, outlook on this, especially in a time where we all need to be helping each other. A lady at the grocery store said one of the most prolific things to me ever, and it was, you're going to get to know your neighbors. And I said, isn't that sad that we have to take, it takes a global pandemic to get to know the person living next door to you?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's weird. Yeah, I've just changed a lot, and I was talking to somebody about it the other day. I'm not going to do something in life, in business, that's not going to help other people. I don't want to do it. I was selfish my whole life. I was in an obsessive, selfish pursuit since I ever, since I could understand, since I could do that. With martial arts, I was like, I'm going to be a fighter. I'm going to be in the UFC. I'm going to be a world champion. Now, I did it. Great, whatever. It's time to help other people. And sure, I'm business minded, and the byproduct of what I do makes money. But that's just the byproduct of doing good, cool shit for other people, helping people.
Mm-hmm.
We've got things that, like I said, in tech form that are coming out. Like there's so much stuff coming out that it's going to be great. And there are people, especially in this community, look and they go, well, like there's, they look weird at people who want to make money. And my outlook is, listen, someone has to make it.
Yeah.
Someone has to make it, and if those people can be confident in their stewardship of power and the money they get and the responsibility,
mm-hmm.
then rad. And I tell people around me, like, hold me accountable. My girlfriend Sonny would call me out on it. He's like, you brought up money. Like, do you? Let me ask you, do you care about helping people, or you just want to make money? And I was like, oh. Number one, thank you for calling me out like that. Number two, I want to help people. That's the main thing. But it's, I'm just a businessman, and I come from a business family, and I
surrounded yourself with business people, like-minded.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is how I work. But, like my buddy was like, you're going to be like a billionaire. I was like, I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want $1 billion. That sounds like a lot of responsibility. But
Then
also
you
it's
need
like,
an
cool.
accountant and everything else.
Yeah, I gotta fuck. Like, what if I would give it away for sure. My daughter would obviously be set for life, but like, the people I love would be set for life, and then you don't need that much money. That's insane. Give it to Justin Rand to build wells.
Yeah, yeah. Nice call out on that one. I don't feel like he gets enough credit.
Yeah, the guy's a saint.
Yeah.
He's such a saint. But yeah, so through my newfound want, need to help other people and to be happier and to just show them, look, this is how I fixed, my sex addiction and drug addiction, and how I became a better parent, and how I became a better, boyfriend or lover or whatever you want to call it, a better, son and a better brother and a better friend and a better everything. And it's a better athlete as well. My body is more efficient. I guess we'll get into the performance side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say we still need that.
So, this is what I do with my athletes. Okay, you start out. This is my protocol. I start out with a large dose, and then that's all variable on the person. Some people can't take 5 grams.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can take 2 and get an insane response. It's about delivery system of the medicine, and setting an intention is it's really important. You have music, you have an eye shade, you have a yoga mat or something to lay on and just be. You've got a lot of thinking to do. This is not easy. It's not an easy process. It's really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I had the hardest experience of my life recently. It was in that realm. It was, oh man, it's deep, But so I take them on a vision quest. I have a couple different shamans that I work with out here in Southern California. So if people want to go to the woods, or they want to go to a mansion in the hills, or they want to go to the beach, it doesn't matter. We can facilitate anything. But we go through a vision quest together, and you deal with trauma. You deal with what happened to you.
Why we are the way we are.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're all broken children, and you just deal with that. You can't judge anyone on their trauma. It's just helping them through it, and squeezing all that pain out because you have trauma is stored in your tissue. Most people don't know that, and you can wring it out of your body. And it's so hard to get it out. Some people have these somatic experiences where they just lock up, and that's where someone like myself comes into play, where I can hold somebody and fucking hold them down if I need to, proficiently and gently, but also do the breath work and the meditation. Having supermodels in your lap, and you're like holding your hand on their chest and making sure they breathe properly and walking them through the psychology of it and kind of meditating, guided meditation sort of thing, or athletes or whoever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I just use the supermodels as an instance because it just happened recently. But it doesn't matter who it is. It can be an average person. That's the thing. I don't care. It's just I have access to these certain people that are going to help me get a word out because I work also on a political level. But so you go through this vision quest, and you have integration after. Integration is key. Integration is huge. It's the most important part, is to put these things you've learned from the trip into daily practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I've done finally. And through journaling, it's one thing I don't do enough of is journaling. But it's now that I can't do comedy, I have to figure out some other way to get that therapy out. But you go through that, and then after the big trip, I tell them, here's more homework to do. The professor will give you homework for however long you do it, which is hopefully forever. This is the mindfulness and the things you do that these are tasks you do forever.
Mm-hmm.
They're tools to fix your life. Then you have microdosing, and you go through microdosing protocol, depending on who you are, what sort of damage your body's taken, your brain, or and then not just physical damage, but damage with drugs, with abuse, whatever it is. And then you fix the diet and exercise are 2 huge things. Okay, the diet and exercise are 2 of the most important things in life. And we're seeing that people who are unhealthy are dying, immunocompromised. Like, this is really important, and people need to become more healthy. They do.
Mm-hmm.
We all do. So just helping these people, and let's say to an athlete for specificity, you have performance benefits, and this is my obsession. This is my super obsession.
Of course.
So you have back to that flow state and the kinetic efficiency of the body and movement. You have something knocked down called the fear response, and that's going to lend itself to all the performance benefits. So you have the flow state, where you're in a flow state, and sorry, my girlfriend's over there working out. Sorry.
Focus.
Yeah, focus. Hot Serbian, lifting weights. So you have the flow state. The fear response is down. Everything moves way slower. Everything. I mean, you can see all this stuff done. People go, "Oh, you're just going to rush into the traffic and get cracked or something." Like, no, you can see the microaggressions of the body, the way it moves. Especially if you study someone, you're going to fight them. You need to study them and how they move. And you can see this stuff: the rotation of the hips and the feet and the eyes and the shoulders and all, like I said, these aggressions in their face, and you can engage differently. And you're like I said, that kinetic chain, the efficiency of your body, everything, lengthens more when you're punching, and you're breathing better because your fear response is down, so you're not worried about getting tired. You have energy sources like ATP that actually give you energy, vasodilation through cordyceps mushrooms, things like that help carry oxygen in your blood. I mean, it's not going to make you stronger, like putting testosterone in your body,
Mm-hmm.
but it's, again, the efficiency is really, really crazy.
Well, and the fight game itself isn't all physical anyways. If you're able to read those and be able to see those microaggressions, which I'm just going to use microaggression for the rest of my life because I really like how that sounds.
And you can, and this is why I have the ability to work with athletes, not even with my hands. I don't even have to touch them. It's through mental stuff. It's through, granted that works better,
mm-hmm.
but if I can see how these things work and dose them properly for microaggressions, because UFC and USADA, they do not test for psilocybin. They can't. It just doesn't. You can't.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask. So I'll let you explain that first, and then.
Yeah, and they're open about it. They talk about it because they also know the healing properties, like the neuroprotective. So you're healing past trauma to it, and you're actually protecting the brain from more trauma. Because not just the physical trauma, the punching in the brain, the actual damage, but the fact that you're getting and giving PTSD while you're in a cage, fucking someone up in
mm-hmm.
front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's not healthy for us.
This is really weird to hear coming from you. I'm just gonna say it because it was your life.
Just telling you the analysis that I've done. It brings back the collective trauma of war and all this other crazy stuff that's stored in our bodies over generations. So yeah, you have cardio. You have this very large uptick in visual acuity. So you see more better. You talk linguistically, things come out better, and you performance of sentencing words, just all these things happening in your mouth, they happen much better. Okay, you have visual, mental, your smell goes up, your hearing goes up. You have so many things that get a benefit, and on top of it, you're having this crazy cortisol response in your body, and your immune system would go down. You have immunoproperties in there. Again, back to that stuff. Like, it helps you a lot. And I've talked to a lot of fighters. I've been out to I brought the professor to 2 different UFCs to talk to fighters and Jeff and everybody, and just get the word out, because this study's happening, and we're just in the beta phase right now. My coaching website should be up this week, I think. Hopefully it should be up this week. And then people can get a hold of me and schedule time more or less without just contacting me directly.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the website, pick a date, time, and how many sessions they want to buy. because you do single session, you do group sessions, or multiple session packs, and then you do like a retainer of how much someone would need. Because being an integration coach, a psychedelic integration coach, you become a spiritual leader of sorts as well. And granted, I'm not religious, but we do pagan ceremonies. All the women that the professor and all of her friends, they're all yoga types, Kundalini yoga, and they're all successful, beautiful creatures that are all witches. Like when I did my first comedy thing in Detroit, my first out of state gig, they were all casting abundancy spells that night, like on candles and like this full moon ceremonies we do and whatnot. We crushed it out there. And maybe it was just happenstance, but it's fun. Like my daughter, she not too long ago she got baptized in a little Christian church, and she's like, "Daddy, well, I know you don't believe in God, but will you come to my baptism?" And I was like, "Hey, never said I don't believe in God. Okay, I just don't believe the shit you believe. Okay, it's just different."
Well, and I'll just say faith and religion are two different things. So
yes, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's find out. Let's figure it out. You and me. That's going to be our whole thing. We'll figure out if God's real. So I go and she goes to an evangelical Christian church with like a bunch of addicts, like former addicts, and they're like like the homie guy who's sitting there crip walking and giving us their sermon. Have you seen that? It's fucking ridiculous. Is what it is. This whole thing. The people are hooting and hollering and screaming, "Thank you, Jesus!" crying their eyes out, rolling on the floor, and I'm just like, "What the fuck is this?"
I remember I was like 8 the first time I saw anything like that.
Evangelical Christians, and even it's fun for little kids to see that great people act fucking adults act like psychopaths. And I'm not saying Jesus isn't real or whatever, but
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, so whatever, a whole different conversation. I just think that what they're doing is fucking silly, and and just their whole outlook, because those are the same type of people that are, they're judging us. We'll get into discrimination for the first time in my life later, but these people they're getting drunk and beating their wives and molesting their kids at home, but yet they look down on us because we're psychedelic advocates, because we're pagans, because I identify as a pagan now, because I just like, if people want to I have these conversations all the time. Well, what do you believe in? I'm a pagan, sure. I believe in Mother Gaia, and she's the creator. What else is going to create us besides the earth itself, and also recycle us once we're dead? Get back into Mother Mycelium and mycology. That's what happens. You get recycled. That's all the planet's doing. So you have this psycho-spiritual thing happening a lot in psychedelics, where some people have the Christianity or whatever, the Catholicism, whatever their religion is, they still have it. Got a nice haircut the other day. I shouldn't say my barber came over, but he did.
Hey, you took all the necessary precautions, of course.
Sure, yeah, he wore gloves. I wore a condom. But baby, can you bring another joint? Oh, thank you, I love you. So where was I? Shit, forgot. I got distracted. So psycho-spiritual. You have people that still believe in their gods and whatever. It's fine. It's great. It's what you need, and go for it. That's fine. But it's showing people like, look, this is just a vehicle to God. You want to talk to God? I have a phone that goes directly to him. I think that plant medicines are the vehicle to enlightenment. I think that God lives in you, or whoever, however you want to look at it. It's, you get to a state within psychedelics that helps you compartmentalize so much stuff in such a healthy way. You're a better person. You're a genuinely better person to everybody. A better everything. A better dad, a better mom, a better lover, whatever it is. It helps, And we also teach integration for couples therapy. You can do it with us, or you can do it on your own. It's just how to have a better relationship, through psychedelics. And I tell people all the time, you want to fall in love, you're having a hard time, or having a great time, and you want to fall in love again. take some with your significant other, and lock yourself in your bedroom and put on the right music and
And
take
see,
your clothes off and have a good time. Just talk a lot, and have a lot of sex, and do all that. But it's that fear response of saying the things that you want to say and you can't say, or hearing the things and not taking them the wrong way. Not thinking that like oh, this person has a former lover or boyfriend, and they still are friends with this person, and I can't handle that because I'm fucking insecure about this. It's like you can deal with all these certain things and issues in relationships that are really important, especially if you want to stay with someone for a long time. Look at the divorce rate, look at the breakup rate. It's pretty crazy.
well, it's easier to get divorced now.
It took me fucking forever. Divorces are expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's the mission. That's what we're doing. I mean, I was booked out till June. Yeah, pretty much every weekend, and even some of the weekends I had my daughter.
Wow.
I had stuff to do. Whether it was I spend as much time with my kid as possible because I have her half time now. Before I had her full time, or her mother's been around for a couple years and she's doing great. Has a new daughter. It's fucking adorable. A new husband, sober, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm like, cool. You want her half time? Cool. So here you go. She's really cool. Like, check her out. And like that whole process has been great. So now I have more time to do stuff, and I've become a workaholic for sure.
But you've become a workaholic in the sense of you're helping other people. You're not just working to hide past trauma. You're not working to, hold it down or distract yourself from something else.
Exactly, and it's she sees it. My daughter sees it. She. I was talking to her about just being discriminated against. For the first time in my life, outside of being called a beaner or something, like some silly racist shit that just ended up getting someone else beat up, kind of thing. Like I didn't care. I'm like, okay, what did you say to me? Oh, okay, cool. Now I have a reason to fuck you up. Because usually if someone's saying something to you, you don't like them. Or they're your friends, and it's fucking hilarious to be a racist asshole being friends. That's what especially fighters do. You just talk a lot of shit because you're about to fist fight in a few minutes, and you want to poke holes in each other's ego for a bit. I was talking to my daughter saying, how that, she might run across, even though she's homeschooled, and I know that the parents she hangs out with and stuff, they're all my friends. They wouldn't be judgmental against me, but one day, someone might judge you for the things that I teach about, things that I do publicly, openly. I work in cannabis, I smoke on the pot, I eat psychedelics. I've had a lot of wild times, and I told her about specifically with the psychedelics. I want you to know, because she knows more about plant medicine than most adults, than most people that take psychedelics.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
I'm one of her teachers. I have to teach her this stuff because she's it's my life. But and I was saying, look, I don't want you to ever think differently about me because of me helping people and what other people might say about me helping other people. She's like, Dad. She's like, just listen to what you just said. She's like, you're helping people. I'm never going to judge you for helping people. She's like, I love you. I know what you're doing is right. And that's coming out of an 8-year-old's mouth. And granted, it's my 8-year-old.
I was going to say, your 8-year-old.
She's pretty woke and smart. And, when I honestly think she's that deep because she's ingested cannabis most of her life. She hasn't ingested cannabis recently outside of CBD, but like I think that maybe give her a lot of time in her developing brain to be very, intuitive and also inquisitive and just be creative and be this little super creature that she's become. Because that I know people that are being discriminated against their children by these churchy people that are in places like Mission Viejo and Orange County in general. It's wealthier people that all go to these massive churches, and she's a bad influence now, or he's a bad influence now because of what someone like myself would post, or an educated person. My girlfriend's a fucking scientist and a professor at one of the best colleges on the planet. and she's got a kid in high school. Like we can't. I see people having their children being discriminated against because of us, sort of thing. Because of the people in my inner circle. These are professionals from banking to lawyers to everything. These are doctors. These are really high level individuals.
And it's crazy because, again, here's the discrimination part. I've never taken anything like that. So to hear about all the effects that it could have, because there are a lot of people who are going to look at it and go, no, I'm not interested. That's not something I want to do.
Yeah, which is fine. But it's this is the thing. I have a buddy who's an addict. One of my best friends. I've grown up for a long time. And he is highly educated at another incredible school in Southern California. Um, and he's one of us. I have a bunch of friends who are super successful, whether they're rock stars or business people. And the people I grew up with, a lot of us have killed it. And we were like, oh, he would never be the one that wouldn't do anything. And it's just like, he doesn't do it. He's sober, but he's just not going out there getting after life like he should. Like I know he can. And I'm like, hey, let me give you a ceremony. Let me help you through this. Let me. One of my best friends. Like, please let me do this. I know I can help you get over this hump. Because it's just things that are holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do that, I'll be at the bar, doing coke and drinking like right away or taking pills or whatever. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, you're a fucking adult. Like, I've even said this to another person. Like, you have a kid. You have a new baby and a wife and a good job. And you're, like, shame on you for saying that. You need to change the way you talk about yourself. Because, the neurolinguistic programming is a big, big, big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real thing. Tony Robbins and all those guys. What you tell yourself, the stories you tell yourself. They're huge. And I know that I can help people within addiction because I've done it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And there's tons of people that are doing it. It's not as frowned upon as it was. A lot of people are coming around to it, ayahuasca and mushrooms within the psychedelic community. Even THC. THC can be highly psychedelic if it's ingested properly, orally through your stomach, creating a different chemical.
Mm-hmm.
11-hydroxymetabolite is very psychedelic. So, yeah, it's like there's so many people out there I know I can help. And it's just going to take time. Because again, the pollination effect. They see celebrities and people like Dr. Sanjay Gupta. I'm sure he'll get onto psilocybin very quickly. There's some, I'll tell you off camera, some things that are lined up in my life that are before the corona happened are fucking incredible. I'm the world's first psychedelic integration coach for sports.
Which is insane.
That's public. And some larger outlets, some very big outlets are reaching out, going like, "Hey, we've heard about you." And then I see, like when I posted a thing about John, some celebrity types and athletes that are reaching out, going, and sure, they're my friends or people I know through Instagram or I've met on certain occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, they're like, "Hey, I see what you're doing. It's really fucking cool, man. It's really, really cool. When I'm in California or next time I see you, I want to talk about it." And then it's the things they want the information, like that. Everyone is asking the questions, and that's the first part, man. Everyone has to ask themselves these questions. Look at the world. I mean, look what happened with pollution. Once we stopped driving, stop running everything. I mean, the pollution, dude. That makes me so happy. Oh my god. And how are we gonna fix this? My friend owns a solar company. I'm trying to help her work on that a little bit, just because I had to do a lot of shit. It's a good way to make money from home. And sustainable energy is really, really, really important. We need that stuff. I'm looking to go off grid, like I was saying earlier. I'm looking at a few different properties out here in Orange County. They're out in like the far back regions of Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
One's 40 acres, one's 18 acres, and I'm gonna build a little ranch. I mean, they're zoned for agriculture. They are, incredible spots, and Also have a plant medicine church. I'm looking to become a reverend at my friend's plant medicine church. So I have legitimacy, more legitimacy in my life. I don't, I don't want anyone to think that I'm doing this, with any sort of negative intent. But then we can give ceremony out of our place. Have like a yurt community out there, live in yurts. I don't care. We should luxury yurts. They're sick. Or like something interesting. A shipping container house, or yurts, or dome houses, or just like some cool thing out there that's not. You can build a sustainable living. We live in Orange County. There's nothing that happens out here. There's been a lot of rain this last couple of weeks. Like, okay, it's fine. The river's flooded to the property.
Mm-hmm.
The river's running, so you don't drive across the river. Well, I've got animals out here. I've got food, vegetables. I've got, electricity. I've got solar. My Tesla truck is fine. It's that sort of thing. It's like we're right outside of civilization, but I want to be off grid.
And I'm gonna give a big shout out. It's actually one of the guys I've trained with before. I've watched fight locally. His name's David Kraft. And he's building a shipping container home and doing as much to be as sustainable as possible. And I really, really think that's something we need to look into. And I think the word normal should disappear after all this goes away, because nothing will ever be normal again. We need to look at things differently. People are going to change careers. People are going to change lifestyles. People are going to move, like you said. Maybe a lot more people will move off the grid. And then maybe that might not be such a bad thing.
See my friends that do it now. My one buddy who's a shaman, he knows nothing of the outside world. He doesn't know what like HBO is. Like, seriously.
Hey, I'm not paying for that sponsorship.
He hasn't like been part of social media. Well, I mean, the thing is, he has social media, but he just posts through through a computer. I don't know. He doesn't have like a real. He gives a flip phone. It just takes calls, goes out in the wilderness, does all these wilding sessions with people and ceremony and all this crazy cool shit. And I just want to be off grid. Like, I would love to be able to helicopter into my property. I'm not there financially yet, but
we'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. And whatever. If I don't have a helicopter one day, too bad. Whatever. I'll have a cool truck. I don't need a fucking helicopter. That's a little bougie. It'd be fun though. I like helicopters and private planes. Not gonna lie. Once you sat in a private jet, it's kind of hard to fly commercial. Not be like, God damn it, this is bullshit.
Well, and to wrap everything up, I love what you're doing. I may not understand everything, and I think most people who are going to listen to this are probably going to think the same thing. There's going to be a lot of people.
I am crazy, so it's okay. You can say that yourself.
A little bit.
I am totally fucking crazy. But I'm onto something. You guys will see. Just wait. Or ask questions. That's all I ask, actually. Ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid. Just don't talk shit, but ask questions. Or if you're going to talk shit, make it funny, at least.
We'll talk about the websites, where people can find more information about the things that you're doing, obviously your social media, everything.
All my social media is Uncle Creepy MMA. But my new coaching platform is going to be the McCall Method. So the McCallMethod.com, the McCall Method on social media, all over. And also check out decrimca.org. And they are the decriminalization effort for psilocybin in California. And yeah, I mean, there's so much information in their links. There's links that they have there, studies and other websites to see, and whether it's the Beckley Foundation or stuff from Johns Hopkins, or there's just tons of really good information there. Then you can also go to unlimitedsciences.com and see what we're doing over there. I'm really, really proud to be working with guys like Rashad Evans, Del Jolly over there. We're gonna change. We're gonna change the world, but we're gonna start with sports, because that's just who we are. We're athletes, and we have this direct connection where we can. And just watch. This is gonna change. This is gonna change a lot of people, and it's gonna help a lot of people. It's gonna change. to change the collective consciousness is the goal, and it's going to be hard. But if we can slowly do it, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight or even in my lifetime. But if I can start to get that ball rolling, then okay, that's good, man. I like it. This is my calling in life, and I'm doing it, and I'm doing it really well. Not to brag or anything, but it feels good to get recognition for what I'm doing.
Mm.
Because I work my ass off and I don't ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like starving for it, but dude, it feels really nice to have people come to you and go, look at I see what you're doing and it's great. Thank you. Don't stop, please. I wasn't going to stop anyways, but thanks for adding a little fuel to the fire.
Yeah, but the recognition and the validation is the word I'm looking for is really, it's not something you need, but it's something we all crave as human beings. Like, it's just there.
I'm still an attention whore, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, that'll never change. So, as far as the episode goes, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll definitely stick around for those extra bits. But Ian McCall, I appreciate it, brother.
Yes, the shaman in me.
Thank you, sir.